You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 379, and my name is Clark from 5cardguys.com. You can also find me at 5cardguys, all spelled out, all one word, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok. Co-hosting with me today is Darrell Chan, aka DC. He's back, and it's great timing too because later on we'll be chatting about a card show we'll both be attending in a couple of weeks. So that's a small teaser. But off the top, DC, I want to get your thoughts on the recent sale of the Shohei Ohtani 2018 Topps Chrome superfractor, one of one rookie card. It's a non-auto, and I'm sure you heard already, but it went for $2.56 million on Golden Auctions. So I don't know if you know, but it previously sold for 140
or something.
Exactly, just under 140,000 back in November 2022. So if you did the quick math, that's an 18x return in just 4 years. So do you think the buyer got a good deal, or do you think the buyer FOMO'd into this card? What are your thoughts?
You know, that card is probably going to be worth double that by the time everything's done. Maybe even more than double that.
So you got an awesome deal then. That's what you think.
I mean, I guess it all comes down to, you know, what your timing is, what you're planning to do. I mean, if your idea was to, you know, buy it and then try to flip it next week, like that guy that bought the case of 79 Opishi and then failed
right.
to sell it again later.
Yeah.
But I think Ohtani's market is proof in the pudding here that it's not going to stop. I mean, 18x is great. I mean, actually, that actually helps me in some of my cards, because what happens is when the same card but like a different numbered variant or something like that sells,
right,
it actually pushes up the comps. So I think
Sure.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, obviously, when someone sells something like that, that means, you know, they're happy, they want to get out for whatever the reason is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be just the monetary gain. Maybe they had something go through or whatever, or maybe they think that this is almost the maximum where it's going to be. But as time has continued to roll by, we have all seen that it hasn't been a maximum. It just keeps going. I'll sell something or I'll trade something, and I'm like, oh, I did pretty good. I 5x or 10x.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes at 18x's after the other guy 5x, whatever. That's 90x.
Yeah. It's crazy for sure. It's crazy, but again, like nothing goes, you know, up and up forever, though, right? So, like, I mean, 2.5 to the moon, cards to the moon.
Cards to the moon, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even argue that, because every time we've been talking about Ohtani in particular, it's certainly going in one direction, right and up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I mean, 2.56 is a lot of money, obviously. So good for the seller. And that kind of goes to, you know, I've been talking about this the last few episodes, my superfractor strategy. High risk, high reward. You know, even buying it for $140K in November 2022, that, you know, like that's not chump change. But the superfractor strategy I'm talking about, if you find the right buyer and everything clicks right, especially with a player like Ohtani, it's the moon is the limit, really, in terms of what you can ask for and what it's going to go for ultimately, right?
But I mean, what about Kevin Maitan superfractor?
High risk, high reward. This is what I'm saying. High risk, high reward. High risk comes first before the high reward.
The funny thing is like when we were prepping for the show, I kind of looked up what it sold for before. That's how I knew it was like under 140K. But in addition to that, it also talked about what the Bowman pitching superfractor sold for. I think it was the pitching one. It was the Bowman one. I'm pretty sure it's the Bowman first, but it was also under 200K, but in 2018.
This is the autograph one you're talking about?
I think it might have been the autograph one. I don't remember now, but it's still.
It is, yeah. I
So if
remember
you're
because
going to use that metric of 18x
oh
from
my goodness.
2022,
My goodness.
what do you make? What do you make it now, right?
Now
Like
you
you
have
need,
now you have a floor,
yeah.
right? It's
So
like,
it's
which
actually
is
quite
insane.
crazy to think about what that could be.
That's true. And I mean, like, this is, I'm glad you brought that up because I remember when if we're talking about the same card, the pitching Bowman Chrome autograph card, and that's super, I remember that was on auction, and I bet a friend, I think, a Shake Shack meal, okay, that it wouldn't go over 100K, and it just blew it out, and it was like just under, I think you're right, it's under 200K ultimately, and so
Yeah.
I lost a bet. But to your point, if you do the math now, if that went from 140K to 2.56,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's even bigger multiplier, obviously, because it's an autograph card too, right? And
It's not a set multiplier, but I'm saying it's got to be at least that based off of what it is. But then you factor also in 2018 to 2022,
sure,
what could it have been, right? It's mind boggling.
yeah, at least 10 million. Is that insane?
Hey man, if an illustrator can sell for 16,
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, 20 million. Like, how high can we go with this?
What year are we talking about now? I mean,
In the next couple
it
of
just
years,
really depends. Is this
next couple of years,
after
it
he wins the
surfaces.
third World Series? I don't even think that guy's gonna. I don't think the person who owns it would even sell it right away. I feel like that is like a card that's probably staying in a collection because like once you're in that realm,
Yeah,
like
limited
if you're
buyers.
collecting stuff in that realm, it's not like you need money.
Well, I mean, the seller could, but the buyers, it's very limited who can actually buy.
That's true, but I mean,
Right.
even the seller. Oh,
Because the
well,
seller got it for what? 200,000. Let's say
yeah,
200,000 rounding
yeah,
up,
because
rounding
two
up.
hundred thousand is just falling out of my pocket right now. I can just give it to you. It's not quite the same.
I
But
mean, it's all
I understand what you're
relative.
saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, the 200,000 buyer is probably, a couple levels up from where we are in terms of our financial situation. But
The
yeah,
buyer that bought the Super, were they from? Do you know? Did it say where they're from? Was it from Japan?
the
The
recent one,
Super, yeah, the one they just sold.
that I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sure there had to be
2.56.
some Japanese bidders.
Yeah, that's something to consider as well, right? International buyers.
Yeah,
Same thing with Pokemon. It's similar that way. You got
very, very
international
true.
buyers. Yeah, it's a good thought and discussion. I'm sure we can dive deeper into if that card ever surfaces. That's going to be the number one hobby news story for sure. But
Yeah. But like I said, I mean, I feel really good about this sale because every time a sale like this kind of happens, like I said, it boosts like
right,
the auxiliary cards that are on the side. Like I don't have an out of 5
yeah,
of that card, but I have it out of 99
yeah. The
BG,
2018 Topps Chrome you're
BGS
talking
10.
about.
Topps Chrome BGS 10. I have the green wave out of 99.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, let's see how this comes back at the National. I should have it back by then, and hopefully I have some crazy news. But I think, like I said, that card already is up. Like every
hmm,
Ohtani card is up. Like even since like I acquired that at Toronto Expo, um, it's crazy. Just that pitching pose, and I think a lot of the value of Otani stuff, especially pitching pose stuff, has to do with him pitching this year,
sure.
which is
Yeah, no, that's true.
yeah. So it's kind of an interesting trend. Even if you look at the Bowman paper,
Hmm.
who would have thought that card is over what? It's over 1,000 now.
I think so.
Something crazy like I mean in Canadian dollars anyway is like 1,200. So that's like it's like $5 US. No, I mean like it's like maybe 800
Right.
or 900 US dollars. So
Yeah, yeah.
that card, you think about it, has maybe 3 or 4x in the last year.
Mm,
Paper
insane.
card, paper card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Which is, yeah, I'm still uneasy. If I ever bought one myself, I'd be like, oh man, I'm afraid it's going to drop any second now, any day now, right?
I think a lot of people thought this in general every time someone sells it, but you
Yeah.
know, you look at next week and see what's going on. Like when the Topps Chrome base is selling for like I don't know 1,200 US, so like 1,800, like 17, 1,800, maybe more than 1,200 US, like 13. Like
Hmm.
just doing some quick math in my head. I mean, when a flagship card sells for this, it's kind of scary. But it also shows the effect of all these people that are not really like hardcore collectors. They just want to have an Otani rookie for the sake of having an Otani rookie. They might not even be baseball fans. These are just
Mm,
people that, hey, I heard about this guy Otani. I feel like I need one of these, and that's just the power of the marketing right now.
sure.
And everyone just getting into it. The hobby itself is just growing at a crazy rate.
Don't you
So
think? Yeah, no, I agree 100%. But don't you think there's parallels here and lessons to be learned from like the era back in way back in 2018, 2019 to the COVID era where we kind of looked at Luca silver prisms in a similar way. It's like, oh, I just, there's so much hype around it. The silver prism, the brand itself, there's so much hype around it. So it's this perfect storm of, things coming together to boost these sales of essentially, it was nothing special, kind of like the Topps Chrome base Otani cards. There's much better cards. There's better cards than that for sure. But
mhm.
I see. I mean, I'm just seeing parallels, and now we know what Luka just Silver Prism cards have come down to, right? So
That's true. Um, the only explanation I have is that Otani is more of a unicorn.
yeah, no,
That's the only explanation I have. And it's not
it's a
like I
good one.
don't it's
Yeah,
not like I don't sell Otani stuff. I do. Shit. But like if I have multiples of something, then I hedge into something else. Or like, this is the same, method that we use in real life. It's like sometimes you have to exit out of some of your position,
mm-hmm.
and that way you can hedge if something happens, right? So
No, makes sense. Yes,
yeah,
smart thing to do.
yeah, and just keep numbered stuff and variant stuff. Like I think still that's the way to go. It's just that it's really difficult to enter the market if you're just starting to just like all of a
Sure.
sudden, oh, let me just go buy a numbered Otani rookie.
Yeah,
you
drop a
know,
few thousand
yeah,
to get in.
for sure.
All right, great talk. And I think it's going to tie into our next segment. I'll try to segue into it. But yeah, let's move on to hobby headlines. Okay, so like I teased at the beginning of this episode, DC and I will both be at the West Coast Card Show in Anaheim, California. It'll be my first time attending, while DC has been there multiple times. So, what better person to ask to best prep for the upcoming show, and also to speak broadly about traveling to shows and what I should bring, what I should expect, that sort of thing. Okay, so first, DC, remind us, the listeners, how many times have you been to the West Coast Card Show, and what stands out about this show in particular when you compare it to like other bigger shows, like
Hmm.
Fanatics Fest, of course, which is happening the same weekend, or the National, which is 2 weeks later afterwards, and even the Sport Card Expo here in our hometown of Toronto. So yeah,
So the West Coast show, this would be my fourth, I think. We've done two in Ontario, like Ontario, California, and then this will
right,
be the second in Anaheim. So the Anaheim one is a bigger one. It's like a combo sports and TCG,
okay,
whereas the one in Ontario is usually just sports. And then they also have another one that is just TCG. But this is like the big, big one.
yeah,
Um, we really like West Coast. I mean, it's always nice when we go. There's always going to be good food choices and stuff to just kind of visit. Like when we're on the way from LA to Anaheim, so there's a lot of like some sightseeing stuff, and the weather's really good.
yeah,
Um, I guess the only thing that's a little different this year is that it coincides the same week as Dallas and Fanatics Fest, which makes
right,
it a little bit difficult because then we have to like pick and choose. Um, but at the end we end up picking West Coast.
Mm,
Um, the only thing is that, well, part of it I think was because Fanatics Fest is just too expensive from like the financial standpoint to set up there.
right.
Even though we have some bigger cards and stuff like that, you really need to have some big cards to kind of break even, let alone try to make money, right? And then also New York is also during World Cup, so it's just
It's
like the
crazy.
accommodations themselves is kind of crazy, even though
Yeah.
it's closer than LA.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, I was gonna joke. You don't have to pick between the two because I'm doing. I think I'm doing both.
You're doing both, and I think that's really good. I mean, it's good for you, with from the standpoint of media. It's
Yes,
good for you to get a lot of content. I think it's great. From a dealer standpoint,
for
don't.
sure. It's different.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but from what I've heard, there's quite a few people that are doing multiple shows,
Okay.
maybe two out of three. Some people doing three out of three, or what they've done is they've taken their I wouldn't say groups like, but like their buddies, and they split.
Mm,
Like they put a couple people here, a couple people there, a couple people with the other show, so they
right.
can try to hit all points. I guess it really depends on what target market you're trying to hit and what you're trying to buy. Because honestly,
Sure.
I find buying at the US shows is actually quite difficult because it's actually a lot more competitive than what I feel it is in Canada. Canada, I don't feel there's as many bigger buyers, so to speak. And
Mm-hmm.
we've always touched on this, but and that's why at Expo you see a lot of U.S. buyers, and they come with U.S. cash, and they want to buy out everything, right? Um,
Right.
so what we focus on is when we go there is like we just have good products. So selling is never the issue, really. It's like for us to reload. And right now, just the timing of these shows all tie in with the national. So everyone is literally just trying to buy stuff, inventory for the national. And this is what we were talking about before, is that
Hmm.
the pricing of stuff is crazy right now. Like if you look at the comps on like certain cards that we look at all the time, like you look at 86 Fleer Jordans, even like the Bowman Chrome Brady's. If you look at the last 2-3 weeks in sales, you'll see that the variance of these cards is nuts over even the
Okay.
last couple months from like,
Yeah.
when I transacted like a Fleer 86 PSA 7 that Martin and I had together, and we sold it. And then maybe 3 weeks later, I had a PSA 6 which I sold at almost the same price as the PSA 7. And just yesterday, I transacted a PSA 5, and it's almost the same price as the 6.
So I think you're hitting upon something that I really want to dive into in the next segment, but because I do find that that interesting, because
Yeah,
I could pose a couple of theories why that might be, but I honestly I haven't noticed until you kind of brought it to my attention off air,
right.
but yeah, no, and like I said, I want to save that for the next part because I think it'll be a fun chat to have. But just going back to what you were saying about West Coast Card Show, and U.S. shows in general, did you mention that it's harder to find good deals, or what was that you mentioned? It's harder to sell
I think no, I
because
don't think selling is the issue.
yeah.
If you have a booth, a lot of the times that we've been there, and actually the first US show that I set up at last year was the Ontario show.
Mm-hmm.
And I had brought enough for 4 showcases. Before the show even started, I was so overwhelmed with some of the people wanted to buy stuff. I literally got rid of 1.5 showcases before the show even started,
I see.
and I was pretty happy with you know the outcome. I was like, okay, now I have like some extra funds to go buy stuff. Except I couldn't just buy everything, or if we bought stuff, literally have to pay like a higher percentage than I'm accustomed to paying. Let's just put it
Mm,
that way. Just that you have like inventory. So
I
then
see.
now I'm focusing more. At that point, I was focusing more on, picking up, goat cards, like stuff that goes up all the time. Like, I moved away from prospects a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone comes in and brings me like I don't say a Connor Griffin and gives it to me at like, I don't know, 75%, 80%. Okay, I'm gonna take that card because I feel it's a hard card. I mean, easy card to get rid of. But
Right.
I'm not buying. prospects like the way I used to do it. I
Mm,
mean, I'm focusing more on cards that people really really want. It's like very liquid cards, very easy to move, and the ones that don't move as frequently are things I don't worry about. So vintage,
right.
um, yeah. So Mantles, Clementes, Jackie Robinsons, Willie Mays, all those ones are like easy because even if I don't move it at this show, those things are timeless and they'll always move.
Sure,
Stuff
that makes
like
sense.
Gretzky's, Brady's, Jordan's. I mean, even LeBron's to a degree. I mean, like if you see these LeBron prices, I was like so iffy for a little bit, but you know, a lot of stuff is happening, and I think that card's gonna go up even more. And
Well,
now, like him going to Golden State, is I don't know if it's official yet, but he's in Golden State now,
no, I don't think it's official, but I think yeah, there's a lot of speculation that's where he'll land.
which would be crazy. You can play with Curry. I mean, and if they
Yeah,
get I don't know AD or who else, whoever
right,
they end
right.
up doing, like it's insane.
Yeah, there's potential for his card for sure, and goats in general, like you said. But so I understand better now. Like a lot of people are buying, and the competition, it seems, in this U.S. in general is definitely more fierce than it is up here in Canada. Do you find even a difference between like East Coast versus West Coast, like Fanatics Fest versus West Coast Card Show, or any
I don't think
difference?
it's fair to compare those two because Fanatics Fest and West Coast are like Fanatics Fest to me is still not like a card show first. It's more of
Right.
like an event that has a card like a card show component. Um, I think the clientele in New York is definitely different than West Coast. I think
Hmm.
there's a lot of people that are not as many hardcore collectors, but have a lot of money. So then they come and buy stuff like the
Which
celebrity
coast?
aspect of it all, right? Like,
Oh, like West Coast?
no, like Fanatics
New
Fest.
York. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, West Coast is good too. I still think there's a lot of money there. Um,
That's what I keep hearing. A lot of
well,
money in the
definitely there's a
West
lot of
Coast.
money for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot of the
Cali.
Silicon Valley guys like make a lot of whatever or
Sure.
Bitcoin people. Like I think that's everywhere. But I think West Coast in general. I mean, all the shows that we've done so far have been very very good. Like
Hmm.
people come, and then sometimes if you have a card that is not, because everyone focuses on comps, right? I feel that in well, my experience at West Coast anyway is like sometimes you can put a card out there for whatever number, and if someone just feels like paying, they pay.
Right.
Like I mean, it's not like we're selling like a Topps Chrome Otani base Chrome. Like you can't sell that for like $3,000.
Right.
But if you had like you say your superfractor,
Yeah.
right, or like an out of five, or something that's rare, doesn't come up as often, and some people will try to use like a generic multiplier to get to a number.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that always applies. I think some people just put it out there and someone might just come by and pick it up. If someone really
Sure.
wants it, they'll pay.
I like that. I like hearing that as a seller. But
Yeah,
that's no, that's interesting. And yeah, I agree with you. Fanatics Fest is kind of its own beast and its own kind of show. Although last year I heard that it was a much better show in the second year than it was in the first year in terms of a lot of deals getting done, like a lot of big deals getting done at Fanatics Fest as well. So it seems like it's evolving, and we'll see what the third year is like. And just to be clear, I'm only at Fanatics Fest for one day because you kind of alluded to it. The pricing of hotels from Thursday night to Friday night is 3 to 4x. So
yeah,
once you get closer to the World Cup final game, yeah, everything becomes more expensive. So I get to New Jersey, or not New Jersey, I get to New York City on Thursday, one full day of Fanatics Fest, and then flying out the next day before everything goes up to
yeah.
West Coast where I'll meet you guys. But yes, I also hear the venue itself. It's been at the Anaheim Convention Center multiple times. Is that right? Is that where it's always
Mhm.
been?
Yeah, and it's really big there.
Okay. Compared to the National, what would you say is the differential?
This
Like
one's tougher to
Chicago.
do a multiplier. I can't even tell you how many tables. I don't remember. Maybe 700 tables. I could be
Okay.
wrong. I mean, because usually when we're there, we just we scan the room like because we'll walk the floor before we set up and stuff like that just to get an idea. And then when I sometimes I'll see, oh, this is a TCG section, so I avoid that section. So
Okay.
it's different. But it's big, but it's not as big as the national.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good to put it in perspective. All
yeah.
right. Just kind of tying into what we talked about off the top with Otani. I'm assuming that there's a lot of Otani cards, not just because he's Otani, but do you see a noticeable difference because we are in the West Coast, we are in LA?
There are definitely some really, really big Otani guys.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is there's not a lot. Like the last time I was there, there's not a lot of people that have like a full case of just Otani stuff, but there'll be guys that have like some big pieces. Like
Mm.
any autographed Otani stuff is just more expensive now. But like LA, you think you'd see more of this. Now, to be fair, I'm not walking around all the time, so I haven't been able to look in every single case, but there there's probably a lot of Otani stuff. Just like
Okay.
in Toronto, you see a lot of Vlad stuff.
Sure. That's what I was assuming. So you know what? I will be walking around, so I'll report back to you, DC, if I see
You
every
let me
case.
know
Or
because then you go, hey DC, go to this table, go make a deal with this guy, and then you can film it, and then we can post it, whatever. That's fine. But I'm always gonna
perfect.
look for stuff because I'll have one case of all Otani as usual.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what a lot of people know me for now. So they'll come and see a lot of stuff, and they'll see some really, really high end stuff, and I'll have some like not as high end stuff too. So it kind of works out for everyone. But
Nice.
I think that's going to be an attraction.
Yeah. And do you see that local vibe play out? Like not just Otani, but the Lakers cards. You see more of those, or kind of like it reminds me when you talk about the National. Whenever it's in Chicago, you're like, oh, I want to load up on Jordan.
Hmm.
Is that kind of similar in play in the West Coast Card Show when it comes to LA teams?
Yeah, Kobe for sure.
All right,
Kobe
Kobe.
stuff, you see a lot of really, really nice high end Kobe stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm thinking if Luca was that big of a draw last year. I don't recall it being, but I mean, stuff like I'll see a lot more Sandy Koufax
Hmm.
stuff. We'll see Jackie Robinson stuff. Um, Yeah, but a lot of Kobe. I think in most places at any show, when people focus, like some people will try to sell to the average buyer that's not maybe a card collector, and appeal to them is to have someone local.
Right.
So, you know, they might get a little bit more. Like I mean, you'll see. I think you're going to see a lot of Otani base stuff, like lower end stuff, but it might even be overpriced.
Okay.
Yeah, just because. But then everyone will, I think a lot of people will have it. Like everyone's going to have a US one. Everyone's going to have, I mean, a lot of
Right.
people will have a Topps Chrome base. What's going to separate the person is whether they have autos or whether or not they have like numbered rookies or like just stuff that's a little bit more rare.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about going the other way? Like, I know this will be harder to find, but just say as a Maple Leafs fan, not a lot of Maple Leaf buyers in the West Coast, I assume. So
Not as
if
much hockey in general.
really, the
Um,
Kings aren't that popular,
well, you
right?
might see some Gretzky stuff, but and like
Right.
I guess like some people if they have hockey, they'll have like bigger cards like McDavid, but Matthews is not a huge draw anymore. I think right now the big thing is Celebrini.
Sure.
So and Celebrini like San Jose is like still
It's not that far. Yeah.
California. So
Yeah.
I mean that there's some there, but I would say that there is definitely very little hockey in the US. And if there is if there's hockey, it's usually there's one or two guys that kind of specialize in hockey, quote unquote. And
Yeah.
then you might have some people that have just random hockey pieces, like a couple slabs here and there, maybe a Gretzky, maybe a Lemieux, a McDavid. But like Austin Matthews is not something you will most likely find in a case.
This is what I'm saying though. If you do find it, you just hope that it's like you might get a deal there, or it could be the other way, like you're saying. If they specialize in it, maybe they know how to price these cards
Yeah,
accurately.
I
So
mean I from the historically, I know that when people have bought hockey, like Canadians go down to US to buy hockey stuff because they feel like they get a better deal on it,
right,
and then they bring it back here and try to sell it to the mass. But I I don't know. It's not something I focus on anyway, so I don't look. Now, if there's a deal,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take a look at it. Like I buy hockey stuff. I just prefer to put my funds towards something else. But if there's a deal and I think I can turn it over for something else and trade something that's non hockey, then definitely I'll do that.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. I'm like I said, this episode is kind of helping me prepare for the show. I'm like, okay, what should be my level of expectation? What kind of deals can I look for or can I find at West Coast Card Show? Especially if, well, even for you, like, is there anything you're looking to buy for the express purpose of flipping at another show, not at the West Coast Card Show, because you feel like
So
it's priced higher at other shows for
I
whatever
mean, if
reason?
it's the same thing. So if I get like above value for say an Otani, I don't know if this is a good example or not because Otani stuff just keeps going up. But just say like I'm into something. Let's just say for sake of argument 1,000, and someone gives me 2,000 for it, but gives me like a Jordan,
Okay,
for instance. I would take the Jordan, and then my next show is in Chicago,
right.
so I would take that Jordan and kind of like be able to maximize that card there because it's local, right?
Yes.
I mean, that being said, I think Otani in general is safe regardless where you go. But maybe I'm not trading Otani to get Jordan. I'm trading, I don't know, Leo DeVries and I mean,
Another
I don't know,
prospect.
whatever, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just something that is not like super super liquid, or like someone's looking for something, then I'm like, oh, I'll take Jordan. But like right
Right.
now, any goat is good, right?
We're in the
Brady.
goat era.
No,
Goat era of
it's crazy, right? Like that stuff is like liquid
Messi.
gold.
For sure. The numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
All right. Let's speak more generally then, right? So if you're traveling to a card show like we are, what are some of the things you bring with you? Like any must-haves? And what do people traveling to card shows often forget on the flip side?
You mean like for me to pack or when I'm there?
Either in
So when I'm
relation
there,
to
you
yeah.
definitely need water. Like
Okay. Okay. Well,
it,
I yeah, I
it
get it.
sounds it sounds simple, but it's that big thing. Like you're literally at the booth the whole time. You get dehydrated. You're talking a lot. Um, that's a big thing. But I guess when I bring one thing I'm going to bring this year that I haven't brought before is this. It's a money counter, and
Oh, okay.
like I bought this one off Amazon. Actually, I met there was a dealer that had one last year, and I asked him where he got it because it's a portable one. It just
Yeah.
counts very very quickly. Instead of I don't know how quickly you can count money,
Right.
but for instance, I did a transaction not that long ago, and it was a big transaction, and I got like 10,020. So you can imagine sitting there counting this, and
Yeah.
then like say you count it wrong, you gotta recount
Uh-huh.
it again. Like I mean, one tip I would say is, and this is what I do now. Like every time I count money, like I separate them into thousands, and then what I'll do is I'll change the direction, so at least you got
Right.
you're
You
there,
counted that.
and you don't have to
Yes.
count all over again.
Right.
But I think just having this
Yeah.
can be very very useful. So I'm gonna bring that with me, and it's a portable one.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have it here; it's upstairs, but it's actually pretty useful. So I think
No,
that
I
one I'm
like
gonna
that.
bring. Um,
How about similar to that? 'Cause I didn't think about it, but now that you bring like a counter, how about anything that kind of detects counterfeit
so you
money?
can a lot of these counters nowadays have counterfeit detection.
Oh, kind of two in one
Um,
kind of thing?
Sorry.
Kind of a two in one kind of machine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they kind of go hand in hand.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think those things are very useful. I mean, in Canada, there was a lot of counterfeit hundreds going around during the expo and stuff like that. So I know Martin and Steph when they have like a heavy duty um, money counter, and that one detects counterfeit bills. So a couple times, when they brought it, and they're like, "Hey, do you mind switching out this bill for something or whatever?" And then kind of caught some stuff without saying,
Wow.
"Hey, you're giving me fake stuff." It's just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you mind changing one of these?" And then it's like, okay. So I mean, it happens. I would think in bigger deals, generally speaking, especially if you're dealing with reputable people, that stuff
Yeah,
doesn't happen as much. But it's always better to be safe than sorry.
for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of money exchanging hands now, especially in the hobbies. So yeah,
Oh, for sure.
things that you have to actually start worrying about
Oh yeah,
these
definitely.
days,
Especially when it's cash.
especially when it's cash. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, things you never thought about until more recently. But yeah, anything else in terms of like yeah, bringing with you that might be useful,
Hmm.
or is there things you brought from past car shows you're like, oh, why did I even bring this? Because I feel like
Why
this
did I even
happens.
bring it?
This is what happens when I travel. Like now that I'm a seasoned traveler, I travel. I know how to travel very lightly. But at the
Uh,
beginning, you're like, why did I bring an extra pair of shoes? I'm not gonna go work out. Like I know myself. You know what I mean? Some
so
yeah.
definitely comfy shoes is good. I think
Okay.
it also depends on what your plan to do outside of the show is because like we all have a pair of ons. Like Martin, I told Martin to go buy a pair of ons because they're really, really comfortable
Yeah.
when you're walking around a lot, right? But they're not the nicest looking shoes. So like if you're going out, you don't want to be walking in ons. Um, but during the show, I think it's really important to have. So that's
Okay.
really good. I think one thing that I started bringing to shows that I didn't before, like I started bringing them after the first US show, is I have a it's like this soft case that
Yeah.
you can put top loaders or whatever. But
Okay.
if I'm somewhere and I find like a rock hard or something like that, I'm not gonna put it in my case. I'll just put them all like this, and then this way I can also separate if I want to grade which wines and stuff like that instead of carrying PSA boxes. So this is good. Also, what I used to do is like I'd fill half of this with top loaders and sleeves just in case I came across something that was raw and I'd just be able to put it in here right away. And it doesn't take up too much
Smart.
space.
I'm just reaching for this off camera, but when I went to Japan, I bought something similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
So,
it's so useful just
oh, for
carrying
sure. Ultra
extra
Pro makes these.
cards.
This is an Ultra Pro one, I think.
Okay.
And it's actually really good. So
Agree.
I thought that was really good too. Technically you don't need to bring a lot of supplies because you can buy them, right? But
Sure.
for instance, like um, in my backpack, I'll always have PSA sleeves, BGS sleeves,
Yeah.
price tags, and a pen,
Hmm.
and I'll have mints and tums.
Mints and Tums.
Now the
Okay.
funny thing is, because I mean, again, you're talking a lot, so your breath probably smells after a little bit. Whether it's mints or it's like a breath spray or something, that's good.
Yeah,
Um, the tums is like last thing you want to do is have an upset stomach and you
that's
can't
true.
leave the table because you're trying to do a deal, but you're feeling something. It's good to have tums
There you
and
go.
a small hand sanitizer.
Right.
Yeah, I think those things are good, and those all fit in a sling bag, and
Yeah.
that way a sling bag can also carry cash and it's on was on you and stuff like that. I think those are very useful.
Awesome advice. Never even thought about that, but if I forget, I'm like, oh my stomach's not feeling. I gotta go see DC. Where is he? I know he's got Tums
I
somewhere.
might have eaten them all at that point. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
I guess you could always go to the local CVS or go to
Oh
a
yeah, I just think
drugstore
like
too.
having it
But
at a show though is very useful.
sure,
We've been in
sure.
situations before where one of us not feeling great, like even if like those small travel size
Yeah.
Advil or Tylenol, because like I
Right.
mean you could be very headachy. One other thing I'll tell you that in Edmonton actually saved me was
Uh-huh.
the night before we went to go eat something, and the next morning I was feeling so sick, like I was puking in the morning and stuff like that.
Oh
I
gosh.
almost didn't go to the show. That's how
Okay.
bad I felt. But I was like, what? I still gotta go. But Martin and Steph looked at me like, "What happened to you? Like you're like pale, like you look like you're gonna keel over."
Yeah.
And when I got to the show, the adrenaline kicked in, so I was feeling a little bit better, but I was still under the weather. And this one guy I did a deal with, he saw that I was not doing well. He came to the table. We did the deal. I had water, and he had a liquid IV pack, and he goes,
Okay.
DC, you need this, and I'm gonna pray for you. And he prayed for me on the spot, gave
Yeah.
me the liquid IV, and I smashed through the rest of the day, and I was great. So now we actually take liquid. We have a couple packs of liquid IV for each of us just in case, because there are times that we just don't feel great, but the show goes on and we want to be there. So
That's crazy but amazing story. I love that. I
yeah,
think I think it was a combination. I'm a man of faith myself, so the liquid IV empowered by the power of prayer. There's
yeah,
your
for
there's your
sure.
trick. All right, all great advice. I knew you would bring the heat and educate us really well today. I want to bring it back to the West Coast Card Show just to end off this segment. Do you have any goals for this particular show coming up? Like, are you trying to sell as much cards as you can, or are you looking to buy more to flip for the next card show? Any strategy whatsoever?
So before the show, like I mean, I've been acquiring a lot of inventory,
Okay.
um, and then just building some more funds to basically save up for the national, because the national is such a big show,
Yeah.
um, and like you said, maybe it's a little bit more difficult to buy overall, but then you also find some vendors that it's like hidden gems, and you'll get some deals.
Mm,
So having like not having enough funds or having trade capital can actually be very difficult, because by the time you go back there, that card
yeah.
might not be there anymore. So you have to be ready to jump on it right away. And I know we've talked about this before, like, what if I look at this and like I want to buy it, but then I want to go see if I can get it cheaper somewhere else or whatever. When I first started, I remember like I would mark down what booth, what card it is, and stuff like that, and then I went
Yeah.
back, it's gone, and then I was like, this sucks,
Wow.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So especially once you get into the like an upper echelon type of card, you're not the only one looking for it, and like it's not like, for instance, like in Toronto, I feel like I could be one of the not bigger dealers, but like one of the people that'll spend five figures on a card, right? it's
Sure.
it's not as many people here that would do that. Not like, I mean, it seems to be now there's more, but in the US, I'm like, small fish in a like a huge
Right.
pond,
Right.
right? And it
Yeah.
becomes a little bit more difficult. So when I see stuff, I want it, I just go get it. Like, I don't second guess myself. I'll deal with the
Yeah.
consequence later, kind of thing. I'll just go get it.
Good to know. Yeah.
So I think a lot
Um.
of people right now are literally just trying to stock up, either if they're set up at the national, or they know that that's going to be the best chance for them to really be able to sell their stuff. Right? Everyone has a different exit strategy, because
Yeah.
if someone was in the to a card for $100 and it's worth 500 now, maybe they sell it for $400 and be happy. Whereas there's other people that are buying it at 400 to sell it at 500.
Right.
Then it's a different scenario. So it's, I think what is the same all the way through this, though, is that people are all just trying to get inventory for this particular show,
Yeah.
and that's why we see the comps of stuff going up.
All right, that's a good segue to our next segment because yeah, I feel like that's one explanation of why we're seeing certain comps go up. But yeah, just to kind of tie a neat bow on this, I'm really looking forward to West Coast Card Show, and I'm actually glad I talked to you because I'm still focused on because I'm going to both Fanatics Fest. I got a media pass just to cover the event, hopefully look at some cool cards. And the next day, like I just mentioned, I'm going to West Coast Card Show for a couple of days, couple of nights, few days. So I'm focused on that entirely, and I almost forget that 2 weeks later is the national. So
Right.
yes, to your point, anyone going to either of these shows coming up, whether it's Fanatics Fest or West Coast Card Show, I'm sure they're all thinking the same way you are, like trying to load up for the national, which is of course the mecca of card shows coming up at the end of July. So yeah, I'm glad I talked to you because that kind of helps me remind me that the national is also coming up, which I'll be there as well in Chicago. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
You,
But
you also can't forget that Dallas is also happening
in Dallas, sure,
the
yeah,
same week as Fanatics and West Coast. So, like I was saying, some of these, I guess, people that are working in partnerships together and stuff like that, they split
sure,
up their squad into like two out of the three shows, just to see if they can get something different that they couldn't get somewhere else, stuff like that. I think definitely there's going to be a lot of buying. This has always been a trend at all these shows, but I think this one in particular because it happens before the national, whereas
Right.
last year it was after the national. It's a little different.
Yeah, and a great point because yeah, we sometimes we kind of forget it's happening before the national, but three big shows are happening in the same weekend, and
Yeah.
so it'll be really interesting to me to see how everything plays out at
Hmm.
the end of the day.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Okay, let's move on to our next segment. It's a new one, and we're calling it Conspiracy Corner. Okay, so if you listen to the recent episode I did with Will and Roy, Will had a hobby conspiracy theory that Fanatics is going to end up buying some kind of grading company or come up with their own grading company in the future to compete with Collectors Inc., which now owns PSA, BGS, and SGC, as we all know. And then off air, you said something that made me go, that's interesting. So I thought maybe we can do a segment where we dive into some of these hobby conspiracies. And you kind of alluded to it throughout this episode, but you got a good one. So why don't you tell us more explicitly what it is?
So because a lot of people are trying to buy stuff for the national, leading up to the national, you'll see like a bunch of comps that are going up at some crazy number. Like as a percentage, it's like crazy. It's not like it's just one card. It's like cards that are very common, so to speak. Like
Like
if you
liquid.
look at like 86 Fleer Jordans, for
Okay.
instance, or you look at the Bowman Chrome Brady's. If you look at the last 3 weeks, what these have been selling for, to me, it makes doesn't make a lot of sense. But then it does make sense because my conspiracy theory, which I think a lot of people share this,
Yeah.
they actually call them national comps. This is
National
actually well
comps.
known.
Okay.
You'll see a lot of these comps that happen around the time of the national where
Uh-huh.
stuff gets bumped up. But then after the national, the price will come down again.
Interesting.
So
So,
if it's
yeah.
funny, if you look historically, look at some stuff. Like specifically if you look at Jordan's 86 Jordan Flares.
Yeah.
Look at some of the pricing. Now, like I told you earlier, Martin and I had a PSA 7. This was
Okay.
when we got this in London,
Yeah.
and it was maybe, I don't know, maybe hovering around 13K Canadian.
Okay.
PSA 7.
Yeah.
That card now is 19,000 as of a couple days ago.
Wow. Okay.
So that's like a month. Now you're talking about like a 30% increase in a month, where like a PSA 6, which I sold like I transacted maybe like 2 years late. I'm 2 years, 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later,
Yeah.
sold for the same, almost the same price as what we transacted the 7 at. And then I had
13.
a 5 that just went yesterday for the same price as the 6. Now,
Okay.
now looking at this, right? I mean, as a buyer of cards, like of course, like I'm gonna buy certain stuff. These cards will always be good. But the reason why the comps keep going up is because people are bidding on stuff. Maybe some people have FOMO. I'm not sure if people are actually buying it to reflip again at the national, but around this time and leading up to it, you'll see some of these comps just go crazy. Like if we look at Bowman Chrome Brady, and this is something that, because I'm discussing this with a potential buyer, like I
Mhm.
was gonna, grab this card. But then we talk about, well, how do you comp it out? And I look at the comps. Usually what I do, general rule of thumb is like I'll look at the last 5 or 6 sales. I take out the top one, I take out the bottom one, and average the five
Yeah.
in between. But then when you have something so sporadic where it goes from as low as say 28,000 Canadian,
Okay.
whereas the last one sold for 41,000 Canadian
Yeah.
in a matter of like 2 weeks, and you'll have some stuff in between 30, 32, 33, 36, 41, back to 34, 39. How are these numbers happening? Because like it's not like he did anything. He didn't win a Super Bowl last week. I mean, like he opened some stores, and I think it's great, and whatever.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
all is it all Fanatics people buying them? Like because he's tied with Fanatics. I don't know, but I'm just saying
Mm,
like as a person that comps stuff, how how do you put a number on what I would buy this at? Because anytime we buy stuff, like we figure out what the comp is and then we offer a percentage. But
sure.
if you can't figure out what the comp is, like if someone says, well, DC, this last one sold for 41K, I go, but this one like a week ago sold for like 33K. I don't even want to average out and say, okay, so then let's say the true comp is 30, 37, 30,
Yeah,
36.
I get it. No, it's an interesting theory because what I want to know then is who is buying that outlier, essentially that outlier or quote unquote national comps, right?
Well,
So,
this is where we come down to people trying to manipulate the market,
right.
where is if they own multiple copies of the card or they own a card and their plan is to sell it at the national, then there's comps, quote unquote comps that support their theory, right? And then
Sure.
like who knows what happens? Like this goes to the same thing. Like say there's a card that's out of 10 and you
Yeah.
own five of them,
Okay.
right? Could I
Then
not sell one or two of them, bump up the price, bid against myself, buy that one back, and then all of a sudden I have legitimate comp to sell my other ones at some crazy number?
yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, those lower serial number, those just won't happen that much. It's doable, but there's only 5 or 10 of them, so you won't see as many examples. But what I'm
Okay, so okay.
But
Hey,
let me finish my thought, okay?
sorry,
Because
sorry.
going back to your like Bowman Chrome Brady, let's say for example, I'm with you. I could see a scenario where just say I have 10 of them. Okay, I've been collecting Tom Brady Bowman Chromes, and I bought most of them before the national comps for 25K. Let's just throw a nice round number. Okay, so on average, I got 10 of these for 25K. You know what? I'm gonna buy one for 45K, and then you could say like, oh well, there's this comp outlier, and the next buyer will see that 45K and say like, okay, I'm not gonna pay that because it's an outlier, but maybe I'll pay 30K. It looks like it's going up, and then that 30K becomes another comp, and then you're like, okay, maybe you can get the 32K. Like other people will buy Bowman Chrome Brady's because there's a lot more of them out there. And then all of a sudden, that 45K, you helped elevate the floor in that sense. And now I got 9 more or 10 more. I can start selling that at the national for at least 30K. So you
Right,
made an extra 5K just using these imaginary numbers on 10 of
right.
these
No,
cards
and this
to
is what I'm
profit.
saying. I feel like this is if you go to like look at sales history, and you always look at sales history, say mid June to mid August, so like a month and change before the national, and then a month and like maybe a couple weeks or a month after the national.
Yeah.
Look at the trend and see. Oh no, I'm serious. Like look at the
I'm going
trend
to. Yeah, okay.
and then see if there's a drop. And there's like is an increase and then there's a drop.
We need to
It's
study
it's it's
this.
actually quite crazy because this is kind of a well-known thing, uh, because they go look out for national comps.
Well, there you go. Cards to the moon, listeners. Watch out for national comps. So what do you suggest? What do you do with it? Like, just say like I wanted a Bowman Chrome Brady rookie
Well,
card.
at the end of the day, if you want something, it's like how much are you willing to pay? So
Don't buy at the national. That's pretty much the advice there, right? Just don't buy at the
I
national.
I don't know if I would buy at the national. The only time that would happen is if you run into a person that hasn't repriced their cards, because this happens a lot,
Okay.
where someone has left a price tag from I don't know 6 months ago, a year
Right.
ago,
An
maybe
old comp, yeah.
an old comp, and then you don't even negotiate. Just take it at the value and go, right? Because
Right.
it happens, and because like it's so many tables, you might find something like that. Your chances this is possible. That being said, most people that set up at the national know what they're doing. I
Yeah.
think it's the same thing at any card show, even at Expo. There's a lot of dealers that are there just to get away from their wives, and they just pay the table fee, and then that's
Yeah.
call it a weekend. It doesn't even matter. Maybe they don't even want to sell cards. It's like sometimes we talk about, oh, how can this card be like $1,000? It's worth like $100. Maybe it was worth $1,000 during COVID. Because
Right.
I don't change my price. I don't care. I'm just here to hang out with my friends.
Sure.
You know.
That hey, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But you, as a buyer, you just move on, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you're a true collector and you just want this card for your own collection and you have no intention of selling it,
Uh-huh.
then it's going to be easier for you to find a card at the National than any other show because it's the biggest show. Now you're
Right.
just going to end up paying. So, if you're there in the flip game, I'm not sure if this strategy works for you because the timing of it all doesn't make sense. So you'll find all types of collectors, whether it's buyers, sellers, at the National. Um, just know that certain stuff is, I think, is going to be out of reach, or you're going to pay a little bit of a premium for it, depending who you are.
Right.
And
Sure.
as a seller, everything is dictated by, well, what are you into the card for? Because if I was into the card for 100 and you're into it for 400 and we're both selling the card and the card's worth $500, more likely that I'm going to sell the card for $400 to someone else just to make my 4x, whereas you're going to sell it for 425 to make $25.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
everything depended on perspective there.
Absolutely. Yeah. But like what we're just talking about with the national comps, like that's another X factor that you have to consider, I guess, especially when you want to buy big cards. So I'm curious. Do you have a theory on who would be buying these cards at these outlier prices right before the national?
I think if someone was trying to manipulate the market, it's probably a friend, or it could be the same person with another eBay account, or someone bidding it up for whatever. I think at the end of the day, like you said, even your example where if you had 10 of something and then your intention was to sell some of them, like to average cost your stuff out, and even if
Yeah.
you bought one that was super expensive, but it helps you in the long run by increasing the percentage sale of those other 10 that you have, then
Right.
maybe it works out, right? It's hard to say because like even nowadays, like sometimes when we go by these best offer ones or fixed price versus an auction,
Yeah.
a lot of times I look at the auction, I go, okay, I feel that this is more of a legitimate comp than someone that did a best offer.
Yeah.
However, if someone did an auction, like you said, in a situation where they they wanted to win and still bid up the price anyway, what really stops that? I think it's very difficult. That's why serial numbers are really important because sometimes you look at multiple um, auctions that are done on eBay or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's the same card. That's
Mm.
fishy,
That is.
right?
Yeah.
Some people are just lazy. Even like these eBay sellers, some of these guys are super lazy. They use the same photo,
Right. I've
right?
seen that.
Again, like I mean, if I was trying to scam someone, if I was trying to do something, and this is just my entrepreneurial mind, it's not that I do this, but I would
Yeah.
take a different photo.
Right.
At least make it a little bit harder to work with. Whereas like some of these guys are, like I said, just lazy. It's like, okay, let me turbo list this. Oh, I have this photo on my phone. I don't want to do it when I get home or take another photo or whatever it is. I'm just saying if someone were to scam someone, at least make some effort. I don't know how else to put it.
I feel like this conversation took a left turn somewhere, but but that's always the case on this podcast, which makes it more entertaining. All right, let's finish off this episode with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. All right, you mentioned that you have a nice one. It's not just pick one out of two, but more than that. So yeah, you want to start things off for us, DC?
Sure. So, I was looking at stuff and because we were in Chicago, I felt like I had to be a Jordan pick one.
Yeah.
So the ones I was looking at, they're hovering around 400,000. Okay, now
Ooh.
this is imaginary, right? It's not like I'm buying a $400,000 card, but it's like, would you
Yeah.
rather have a PSA 10 86 Fleer Jordan,
Yep.
and the last one sold for 396K June 28th.
Right.
The
Is
one
that
before that sold for 341, and the one before that sold for 268.
national comps?
Okay, so now, not to be fair, like these were on golden. These are on golden heritage and golden.
Okay.
Um, so I guess this just goes to show this could technically happen anywhere. I mean, that being said, if it's on there, these are legitimate sales that actually went through.
Right.
And I guess if I was going to do something like this, you want to make sure that the thing goes through versus a unpaid sale or something like
Sure.
that, right?
Yeah.
Then the next one would be 1984 Star Jordan 101 PSA 6 with an auto 10.
Oh, it's got an auto sticker, I guess.
No, it's an on card.
Oh.
And that card in November of last year sold for 300K, but card ladder value has it at 410 as of today.
Okay.
So PSA 6 10 auto versus a PSA 10 86 Fleer. The pop count on the auto like 6 PSA 6 auto 10 is 4, and the pop count on the 86 Fleer is like 300 and
Yeah.
350 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then since we're talking about the national comps, if you saw, and that was in November, right? So we're basing off a card ladder value at say like 410,
Okay.
and that was a PSA 6 with an auto 10.
Yep.
What do you think a PSA 3.5 with a 3.5 with a 7 auto?
Okay.
What do you think that sold for? Just on June 28th.
I don't know, because you're asking 400?
It says sold for 300K. Okay. But I'm just saying as a percentage, it's still,
Yeah.
25% difference. But later I'm going to show you this auto, and it's like not something I would even buy. Like the card itself looks okay,
Yeah.
but the auto doesn't even resemble Michael Jordan's auto, which is
But-
crazy.
But it was authenticated.
It was authenticated.
Right.
And I guess the last card I was actually trying to use was also sold on June 28th. It's just the 84 Star Card 101, but a PSA 8 with a NBA silver diamond. But that's sold for 490K.
Okay.
490K silver sticker, okay. But do you want to guess what the one in September 13th, the one before that sold for?
Which one? The last one you mentioned?
The PSA 8 Jordan Star 101 in September.
Sold for 400K.
268.
This is a silver NBA?
It's not a silver one, but
Okay.
268? Like it's almost double. And prior to that, in June, sold for 186.
Okay. So yeah.
Something fishy?
It's fishy, but I know you're a loyal listener, but do you know how pick one works?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Well, you are picking one. You're just picking one out of 3 or 4.
Yeah, but you listed like 6 cards. So okay, the 19. It's easy for me.
Okay, let's
Anyways.
go then. 86 Fleer PSA 10
Yes.
at 400K,
Yeah.
or
84 Star 101.
84 Star PSA 6 with a 10 auto,
Yeah.
worth about 400K now,
Yeah.
or a PSA 8 84 Star
No.
non-auto.
Easy. You got to go with the most iconic card in the history of the hobby when it comes to basketball cards. 1986 Fleer PSA 10.
Wow.
I mean, I could understand how the star has a higher ceiling. Like, it's so volatile, as you were kind of saying all these other comps. So if I'm going to play that kind of short-term flip, mid-term flip game, I might lean towards the star, the PSA 6 with the auto 10. I feel like that's even more volatile because there's so many different factors. And I looked at the card on Card Ladder. The auto for that one looked nice. But yes, the one you saw with the PSA 3.5, it was very streaky. I guess that's why I got an auto 7, right? So anyway.
It doesn't even look like his auto.
He's probably signing just a bunch of these. I don't think it's counterfeit or anything like that. But yes, it's not clean. Let's just say that compared to the PSA 6 Auto 10, which is kind of crazy to get an Auto 10 IP auto essentially on the star rookie card. So, but I'm going for stability. I'm going for security. The PSA 10 86 Fleer, it's not going to bottom out anytime soon or ever. So that's why I'm going for the 86 Fleer PSA 10.
Wow. That was just a very easy answer for you, because this opens up a whole new can of worms as to what you think is the real Jordan card, like Jordan rookie, which is like another episode.
It is another episode, yes. But, I could be persuaded, but, this is an 86 Flair for me, at least. It's the iconic one. The one I think of when someone says Jordan rookie. I'm sure the same for you.
I kind of like that 84 PSA 6 with the 10 auto.
For this pick one, yeah.
Yeah, for this pick one.
Yeah.
Just because there's only 4 of them. And, being a 10 auto and it's like you can recognize that auto, it's actually really, really good. Which actually makes me question what the buyer of that PSA 3.5 with the 7 auto is thinking. Because, again, this has to do with like how much money you have and what the scale is. But if I'm paying like 300, like 6 figures for a card, like 300,000 for a card, I want it to be really nice. Like, it's not like I'm there to resell it. I would want to keep it.
The PSA 3.5 Auto 7 also has a gold NBA.
For the card, not the auto.
Right.
Yeah.
But the gold NBA
I'm
still...
saying the card itself. I'm not arguing the card. I mean, for a 3.5, it looks really good. But I'm saying now you're going into a different realm with auto star cards, which don't exist. Like, they don't really exist. Yeah. Because, Jordan was only signing for Upper Deck. At that point, like, that means there had to be either he signed it at his camp. That's the only time he had to sign it, or it was a private signing. And the private signings are something crazy. Like, even the other guy that he had some on-card ones, 86 Fleers, and then there's another guy that did that whole slew of stuff with the stickers, right? And those do okay too, but I mean, I think in this realm, I don't want to have a sticker auto, number one. But if I'm going to buy something like that, I'd want to have like a nicer looking auto. Sure. But again, that's just me. And like I said, if I had $1 zillion, maybe I wouldn't care. But
that's true. Yes. Anything is, anything goes when you have that much money.
Yes. Sir.
All right. I like that. It's creative.
I'm trying to do some new stuff on the pod, just try something different.
We encourage experimentation on this pod, so I love it. Okay, let me finish with my pick one. And speaking of, if you have a lot of money, let's say you have $3 million, okay?
Oh, geez.
$3 million. And we talked about one of them already, the $2.56 million sale of the Ohtani Topps Chrome Superfractor, right? I believe that was a BGS 9.5. Or there was another one, I believe, on Golden Auctions as well, that sold for just under $3 million. It was. Do you know what it was? It was the
recently.
I think it's the same auction.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't keep up with that. What is it?
It is the 2003-04 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection RPA Rookie Patch Auto of LeBron James.
Yeah, I'm buying the
BGS. Huh?
The Ohtani.
Oh, really? BGS 9.5 bet Auto 10 Pop 2. You're still.
It's a Pop 2. Ohtani is a Pop 1.
That's true. Popped you in that grade, and that's yeah, it's number to 23. But
I think I just like my affinity to baseball is much more than basketball, and I'm not as huge a LeBron fan. If it was a Jordan, I would maybe I would consider a little bit differently. Um,
so you're
that
like
being said,
John.
I think
You're like John.
LeBron, like all LeBron stuff, is just going up because he's going to be retiring soon. I mean, this whole thing with Golden State, if he wins another championship and stuff like that, definitely going to boost a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, guaranteed Hall of Fame. So I think that's
Of
great.
course.
But if you have the superfractor, which no one else can possibly have, because the thing is, there's two of those LeBrons. I'm not the only one that has it. Someone else has one,
In that grade, yeah, since number to 23. So there's more people that have that card
but
in
not in the
different
nine
varying
five and
grades.
whatever. But yeah, I
Yes.
totally understand what you're saying. But that's superfractor at the same price. That
No, I agree with
superfractor,
you.
like we said at the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
I think that card sells for more at some point in time
Could be.
if it ever comes up again.
Right. I was gonna make a joke that you're like John, a LeBron hater, but I get what you're saying with this card because
It's not a LeBron hater. I'm just saying if I had to choose between those two, the Otani is my honest choice. I make that all the time.
fair, but you know that auction, the LeBron sold for 2.9 million versus a 2.5 for the Otani. So someone's valuating the LeBron right now at least higher. But yes, that being said, this is a Otani sweep because I'm sticking with my superfractor strategy that I came up with because this could be like we were talking about earlier. If this ever comes to market again,
Yeah.
you could ask for 5 million. Like I'm sure if Otani continues to do Otani things, there'll be a buyer at a higher amount than this last sale.
For
So.
sure.
Whereas the LeBron, I think it's you know what, if you're looking for a shorter term flip, LeBron might be the play because of everything you just mentioned, possibly going to the Golden State Warriors, trying to win another chip and retiring in the next year or two. All those could come into play that boost that value for the short term. But yes, I'm with you. I'm sticking with the Otani Topps Chrome Super. All right.
I wonder if it's possible that the person that bought that second LeBron owns the first one and wanted to have both of them. Because at that point, then they can corner the market and then they can boost the comp up for one of them and then sell the second one for something stupid or sell the pair.
Yeah, but for a BGS 95
There's only
graded card,
two. Are there other PSA 10s in existence?
that I don't know, but I don't think so.
There you
Let me
go.
do a quick check.
Oh,
PSA.
refractors. I don't know if you can see that. Hard to see.
Yes, only
Can you
two
see
of
what
them.
this is? Hold on, let me check out the case. I just acquired this.
Ooh, Alan Ginter, Stargell, Willie
Willie
Stargell.
Stargell, superfractor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't see that's a super in the glass, but yes.
Yeah, I'll send you a photo anyway. But yeah, I just got
Nice.
this in a lot I just bought.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. There you go. That's another thing you could do at the national or at these bigger shows. Just go through these bins as well. Maybe you find treasure. But
It's possible, but I'll tell you this: out of all the places that I'll be able to move this card, I feel like the National is probably unless I did a show in Pittsburgh, because
right.
you'll find people that are super
diehard.
like fans of certain players just from the sheer number of people there. So this card, and just like your Bobby Witt, if you identify or are able to find the person that is the super collector of this or is completing a rainbow or whatever it is, those people will pay you more because there's no such thing as a comp, really.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story about the Matt Barnes superfractor?
I feel like it sounds so familiar.
So I was at 401 Games with my friend, and I bought a box of, I think it was 2013 Sterling. So this is when I, just getting back in the hobby and whatever. But 2013 Sterling, the appeal was that every pack had an auto in it. and I think he had 8 packs or 5 or 8 packs. Anyway, I pulled my first superfractor out of that box, and it was Matt Barnes, the pitcher for the Red Sox, a closer.
Okay.
So I was like, the box is actually pretty good. I pulled a Carlos Correa auto rookie, and I also pulled a Byron Buxton rookie, I think. But the big thing was the superfractor, right? It's a 101. So I was on forum. It might have been blowout forums.
Okay.
And I don't know how I came across this, but there was a guy who was a Matt Barnes super collector. Because they have like a thread that you can post, oh, who are your super collector, blah 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 blah, show your blah 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 blah. And this guy was like, I'm a Matt Barnes super collector.
Yeah.
So I messaged this guy and go, hey, I got a card that you want. He goes, I have every Matt Barnes card. I go, you don't have this one. And then he was like, huh? Question mark. I sent him a photo of the superfractor. He goes, oh damn, how much do you need for that? And at that point, now I know I can sell for whatever I wanted.
Right.
But it was just kind of crazy because Matt Barnes, you're like, who is this guy? Right? But there was a super collector of Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. The other thing is possible. There could be multiple Matt Barnes super collectors. I just don't know. Like, have you heard about the Omar Vizquel super collectors?
No, collectors plural.
So there's 2 of them.
Okay.
And basically every low numbered or very difficult Omar Vizquel that comes up, it's these 2 guys on eBay bidding against each other all the time.
Oh man, that'd be a great story.
You should look this up. I'm sure it's documented, but a lot of people know about these guys. It's 2 guys basically bidding up like Omar Vizquel.
No, there are buyers like that out there. That's hilarious. And
what's great about Ohtani is that there's so many.
That's true. A lot of super collectors of Ohtani. All right, great way to end the show. Appreciate you, DC. I'll see you in a couple weeks at the West Coast Card Show. Looking forward to it. Yep. And eating some good food out there while we're there.
We're going for omakase for sure.
Can't wait. And appreciate all the listeners out there. We'll have a brand new episode for you guys next week. Talk to you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.